Hi, I'm Ailbhe McDonagh. In this video, we are going to be discussing the bow arm. When you look at professional cellists all across the world, you will see that their bow arm just feels seamless and the legato playing that they can have really shines through. So how do we break down the bow arm from the very beginning? This one takes a lot of practice because the bow is what creates all of the sound. So we work so hard on our shifting and we work so hard in the left-hand precision of tuning, but really the most important thing is the bow. So let's break it down into three little sections. I particularly love the fact that the cello has these directions, and you go to the right. This is called a down bow. And then when you go from the tip back into the heel, that's called an up bow. So that's going all the way from the right back to the left. So why were we given these terms? Well, actually, it was from the violin. The violin actually holds up the instrument and they do a down bow. It's physically coming down and then it's going back up again. We just inherited these terms from the violin, but we'll just keep a handle on them by knowing that to the right is a down bow and to the left is an up bow. So I'll be talking about our down bow. So have a look at this. So it's interesting to see what I'm actually doing. I'm starting with my bow on the string with quite a high wrist here. So this is a really interesting thing to think about as you're doing your bow. So when I start, I have a slightly higher wrist. My elbow is low and hanging down beside the cello. And I take it away. Have a look at my wrist here. My wrist is actually indented here. So you can see the difference between the start of the down bow and the start of the up bow, okay? So that's one part of this that I want you to be aware of. But before we get to putting all of that together, I'm just going to show you what I like to call the Batman stroke. So the actual bow stroke itself is one movement. And I always think it's like when Batman puts out his wings. But if we break it down with no bow whatsoever, all we're doing is we're opening in here, first of all. That's our first stage. So we've just opened. I'm trying to keep my hand in the same direction that I would have with a bow. Then I lift my elbow. So I do this very gently. Look at this. So you can see my wrist is coming down, my elbow is coming up. So this is the point that I'm at now, which is about the halfway point in the bow. And then the final part is just opening out at the elbow like this. So that's sort of like that fun arm circle that people used to do. So the same motion, but up on a horizontal plane. So let me put the bow into the hand while I do this. So I've started, my wrist is a little bit high, my elbow is down, I open out. I move up my elbow. And now I open out of the forearm. Okay? So it's really a smooth movement. Now, what is interesting about this is as you bring up the elbow, of course, if you do a whoosh, that can often affect the hand. So have a look at this. Like it sounds like a big swoop. So of course, the hand and the fingers, it's their job to keep the bow steady in its direction. So we've got move up the elbow. Out we go with the forearm. And now for our up bow, we'll just take away the bow for this again. So here we are. You can see that my wrist is a little bit depressed. And then we come in, close. So I suppose I could be out this far. We're doing this motion again, but horizontally. So we come in. We now drop the elbow very slowly and close the arm. Okay, so I'm going to just do that with my bow in my hand. So we've got close, drop the elbow, close the arm. Okay, so when we look at the bow, this is what we call the balance point. So you can see that this part of the bow, so our frog and our heel of our bow, it has much more metal on it, it's much heavier. And the tip of the bow is just wood and hair. So you can really see the difference there in the weight balance between the tip and the frog. So that's the only other thing to think about as we're playing this bow arm. So as we play a note, it's heavier down here, so it's easier to play with weight. So if I just played the same type of weight the whole way through the bar, it would sound like this. So to counteract that, we try and not use all of the weight here. Elbow up, turn onto my first finger. And by turning onto that first finger, so we call this pronating, then that helps us get a little more weight at the tip of the bow. And then we have an even stroke. So the same way on the back, we are pronated, elbow down, less pronated, slightly lighter coming into the heel in order to have the same sort of stroke. So any slow tune that you know, you can practice that bow arm movement. Here, let's try Frère Jacques. If you've enjoyed watching this video, please feel free to leave a comment or a question below.